Hello, hello, my name's Verity. Today we are going to be breaking down the sun salutation. The one we're going to use today is Surya Namaskar A. So that's one of the main variations you might come across and the one that I primarily use as a basic in my Vinyasa Flow yoga classes. And as part of that, you're going to find out what the Vinyasa Flow is if you're not sure what is Verity talking about. So the purpose of this video is to give you some more clarity and to give you some options and modifications depending how your body's feeling on different days, or maybe you've got injuries or health conditions that you want to adapt for. So let's get started. The sun salutation is kind of a way to honor the sun, to honor the light, but it's also like a moving meditation. So I will give you an option if it's not appropriate in your body or it's not the right day for that really active Vinyasa Flow or sun salutation, a lovely meditative walk back and forth on your mat. So literally closing your eyes or having them really soft, and you just take walks really slowly back and forth along your mat, just sensing the ground. So this sun salutation is a strengthening practice. We're not passively stretching, we are using the body, warming it up as you would imagine traditionally in the morning to welcome the sunrise. Let's break down the sun salutation. Essentially, we're starting here at the top of the mat. This is our Tadasana or mountain pose. I'll face you just to get an idea of it. You might like to have your feet hip distance or so. Roll your shoulders back, let the palms gently turn forward. And you know, your feet can be a little different distance depending what's really comfy in your body. You're letting your shoulders roll back and down and stack over your hips, and your hips stack over your heels. You could close your eyes at any point just to really feel the sensation of your body. You could spread your toes, grip the floor a little. So we're not completely passive. There is a little bit of this powerful active stance. If I came over and tried to push you over, I would not be successful because you're feeling quite steady and firm and stable through your feet, your legs, slightly engaged, holding you. Option here, I like to invite you to soften your knees a little rather than just locking the knees out. It's actually less stable. From your mountain pose, there's going to be different transitions you might come across over time. The default I like to use is to sweep the hands wide up into the sky. We reach tall here to tall mountain, and then we sweep the hands wide into a forward fold. Let's dangle in Uttanasana or forward fold. So basically, again, softening your knees. Notice when you lock your knees, often our bum just kind of sticks back. We're not really building a lot of strength. Sure, we're probably getting a stretch at the back of the legs, but if we can build a little combo of stretch and strength, softening the knees ever so slightly, stacking your hips over your heels, letting your head and shoulders completely flop down. Hands might rest wherever they're comfy for you. From that one, we've got Ardha Uttanasana. So it's a halfway lift or a flat back kind of shape. As you come up, again, try to maintain that little softening of your knees. Fingertips come to your shins, or they can even come higher. Your fingertips aren't doing much. They're just gently resting and helping encourage you to elongate your spine. Often we'll notice if we're not used to it, we're rounding the shoulders down and forward. So try to roll back your shoulder blades slightly together, slide them down your spine, and then just keep that crown of your head drawing forward and still trying not to push the bum back in space, but to stack it over your hips. All right, beautiful. From here, let's find our plank. So going to bend the knees and step back. You might need to lower a knee to transition back. So when you're finding your way back, just work out what works for you. So maybe you're lowering a knee down, maybe you're coming down to knees first. And let's actually start on knees. So this is actually your foundational plank, that kneeling plank. Hands straight under your shoulders, spreading your fingers. And I do notice as well, if you're not used to it with the kneeling plank, a few things happen. Sometimes we're back with our shoulders far back from our wrists. This is not going to be easy to move forward. So into the next bit. So try to get your shoulders right over your wrists. And even if you want to try and go further forward, So now I say forward, your shoulder tips coming forward. But watch out when you do that, because sometimes we slump our shoulders, and watch out for your bum not to slump it down, especially on the knees. There's like a little lifting up under your belly. Checking your shoulders are protracting. So when we retract the shoulders, they sink down, and we kind of get like a thinning of those shoulder blades, they stick up. So we want to protract, push away the floor. Look ahead on the mat, so not under your body. If you need a break at any time, please take a break. We're holding this a long time. One more thing, make sure your knees are not under your hips. So if you're just in a tabletop position, we call it in yoga, hands and knees, that's fine as a shape. But when we're building strength in our core, we've walked the knees back. And so we still have hands straight under your shoulders, knees back, not straight under your hips. Spread your fingers, protract the shoulders, and now almost like we are gripping the floor, pushing your heel of your hand down, we try to lower to the ground with your elbows sliding next to the side of your body. Your chest almost feels like it's trying to come down first, but actually we touch the chest and the hips around the same time when we get to the floor. That's a really tricky transition. So I'm going to do it again just so you get a vibe and an idea, and just know that you may not look the same as what I'm doing right now. It might change over time. So with this transition, often great to do it on your knees as long as you need to build the strength. If you're doing a little bit of a worm, this will be common. Your hips come down and then lower the chest. You might find you need to do that. You may not have the strength yet to lower the way that I originally lowered, which builds a lot more strength in your chest and the triceps at the back of your arms. If you want to try to build that strength though, we'll have a few poses that do that in yoga already, but you can try to even just lower a little bit with the elbows back, and then you might notice you need to roll down your hips. So give yourself permission, do what you need to do to make it to the floor. Now, let us just check out a few different options. If you've already built quite a bit of strength already, you might have been starting up in a plank on your toes. So this is kind of like your option 2, is to be on the plank on your toes. And if you're here, again, you protract the shoulders, push away the floor. Your shoulders are right over your wrists, or rocking forward. See, when I rock forward, I'm right up on my toes and I'm rocking the shoulder tips forward, but still protracting the shoulders. So that top bit of my shoulders is kind of like almost rounded, like domed, but I'm not poking the bum up. I'm still squeezing the bum and activating the core. So see how you go with that. You kind of want to like lock your kneecaps, push away the floor, protract the shoulders, look ahead on the floor. And now if you are still feeling strong, so you can always do this, then lower the knees and go down. Or if you're lowering to the floor from here, elbows point back and you still slide along the side of your body until you touch the floor. Let's take a break. All right, so once you're at the floor, just so you do think about that, again, you're trying to get your hips and chest similar time touching the floor. I do notice sometimes people will progress. You've got a really strong plank, and so you're trying to do the toes to lower to the floor, but when you're lowering to the floor, maybe you're still worming, so the hips come first, then the belly. Or you might, just various little shapes. Maybe you're a little bit loose on the way down. You're just trying to work out how to get to it, which is fine. But if you do find, after you've locked in the core, you're staying really firm, but when you're lowering down, your arms are collapsing, or you're finding you have to do that little worm, I would go back to the knees and keep practicing going down that way, because you will build more strength doing it from knees and practicing it with that form, rather than trying to progress to the toes, but kind of collapsing and losing the form. That's my suggestion. So, good. I'm going to show you one more option. So remember, like, take it or leave it with these. I just want to give you the sort of progressions of strength. You may never get to that second option I did. You may never get to the third option. Totally fine. It really doesn't matter, as long as when we get into it, you start to connect with your breath, move through the flow, like I said, a moving meditation, and strengthening at your own intensity of strength that you need. So we're up in a plank. If you're coming to this third intensity, regular plank with the toes, knees are lifted, protracting the shoulders, locking in the core, you add a little hover and you try to pause halfway down. So I'm just going to pause there because we haven't done the next shape yet, but that's what you want to practice. And you can do the same thing if you're trying to work up to that. Maybe you're just doing it on knees and trying to hover. Ooh. Even do a little push-up. You can add a little extra push-up in there too if you're feeling really energetic. So do that anytime you like. Okay, next. So I will put this all together in one flow at the end, but let's keep just slowly going through each little part of it as a component. Once you've come down, let's say you went down to the floor. So even if you'd started on knees or toes and you'd come down onto your belly, we untuck the toes, push the top of the feet into the floor. Now, I actually like to widen my feet a little. It just feels nicer in my pelvis. I feel more connected to the ground. Certainly you're welcome to keep feet closer together. So just work out what works for you. My foot's cramping. Okay, so your hands are actually really low down by your lower ribs. Your elbows hug into the side of your body. So you're actually starting to squeeze between your shoulder blades there, rolling your shoulders back away from your ears. Now, again, point the toes, squeeze the legs, squeeze the bum, tip your pubic bone into the ground. So really tilting downward, anchored at the lower body as you lift a little with the chest, not too far. Hug your elbows in your side still, and then lower back down. Let's just practice a few of these. So this is Cobra. When you inhale, little lift up. Your shoulders are away, back away from your ears as you exhale. So watch out not to have the shoulders really far forward, or if you're pushing up really high, especially straightening your arms. Again, we're not strengthening anything at this point. We will be stretching, but it's a really passive stretch that we're not aiming for in the sun salutation. We want to actually build strength in the back of the body. So squeeze the bum, push the pubic bone down, open the chest, and roll the shoulders back and down. You might be able to also feel your fingers spreading, maybe just trying one more. So your fingers are spread, pushing through the palm and the fingers, and eventually lowering back down. So that's your option one. And again, please stay with that. If you are ever in doubt, go for your Cobra, because you honestly do build strength at the back of your arms, your actual back. So it's a really great pose. I love it. Of course, I can do other options, but I often just do a Cobra because it's lovely. If you want to do upward facing dog, again, our hands are really far back down at our lower ribs, but on the ground. We lift up and we do straighten the arms. If you're getting into it from the ground, we just have to try to inch forward a little bit. So this is pretty strong on your wrists, so you might find this just not appropriate for you. But your chest is coming forward. We're not in the shape yet. We need to squeeze the legs so firm that we actually could lift the kneecaps off the floor. And my chest is drawing through my arms forward and I'm pushing away the ground. So watching out the shoulders are nowhere near the ears because we're pushing away the ground, spreading through the heel of the wrist and the fingers, a little ball of hands. And feeling long and extended, squeezing the bum. From there, we can roll over the top of the feet to down dog. So if you're already kind of practicing your up dog, then you can try that little transition where we flip over the top of the feet to down dog. Otherwise, I'm going to show you the one from the ground, which most of us will certainly be starting at and maybe continuing forever. So if you are in the ground, so one more thing, I do just want to mention, make sure you're not just continuing to do the upward facing dog I just showed. If you're getting a lot of back pain, we really don't want to be pushing ourselves into pain. We want to be strengthening our body. So just really notice, just tune in to what's happening. Even the next day after your yoga practice, how do you feel? So if you're on the ground, we can tuck the toes and you might just take a little pause back in knees, so a little rock back. And then lift up the hips into your down dog. And down dog, we're landing hands at shoulder width, feet a hip distance or so. And so you might find often when you come to the first down dog, you want to pedal your feet, do a few things just to warm up, because the aim here
is to create a long line from your wrists up to the top of your hips. It's like a big triangle or a big pyramid shape here. And you want to feel long through your spine. So we want to spread the fingers, distribute the weight if you can into that first finger knuckle and thumb knuckle. Right in there. So it's a little like rolling in slightly. You still get a little bit of weight all through the palm, a little bit in the fingers, but as much as possible rolling in to the thumb and first finger. And it just helps your shoulders actually roll away from your ears so we don't feel compressed there. So you're up in your down dog, your fingers are spread, you're rolling into the thumb and first finger. You might have a little bend in your knees. Otherwise, if you're trying to straighten your legs completely, sometimes we'll find our back does all sorts of different shapes, and we want to keep the back like a neutral spine, a long, extended, neutral spine. We're looking back at the feet or the legs there, letting the head flop. Beautiful. Come back down to hands and knees.
I want to give you two other options that you could throw in the mix for your practice. So wrists is a common one. A lot of people do have issues with their wrists.
Plank has quite a strong angle on your wrists. So if you want to try, just come onto your forearms instead, and you could try a forearm plank, either on toes or knees. Then when we all lower down to the ground, you could just lower your knees, lower your hips, open the hands straight in front for a little Sphinx pose. From there, you could bring the hands to interlace together, tuck your toes, and instead of a down dog, bring your knees in and find a dolphin. Elbows are the width of your shoulders.
So if you're pregnant, you tend to not want to lay on your stomach at some point during the pregnancy. So
you can still probably do a plank, or you may at some point, especially as you're getting a little bigger, feel that a kneeling plank would be better. So if you're still wanting to build a little bit of strength, you can stay there. But when we go down to our belly, you might step your knees in and do a cow stretch, lowering your belly, rolling shoulders back away from your ears. Tuck your toes, and if you still feel happy and safe in your down dog, lift your hips back. So there's nothing inherently wrong with down dog for pregnancy, but it's really about listening to your own body. The next little bit, transitioning from downward facing dog, I like to say lift the heels. So you're coming up on your tippy toes or right up on the ball of your feet. Bend your knees means you're pushing your bum back a little towards your heels, knees are bent, and my bum is now like a little spring, or my legs are a spring. My bum can move up and down. And then I'm going to try and lunge one of my feet to the top of the mat, big step, and then I step the other foot up to the top. So what that looks like in practice is inhale, lift the heels, exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step to the top of the mat, big step. This is not accessible for many people, so don't feel worried if you're like, oh, what the heck? That is not happening. So another option would be inhale, lift the heels, exhale, bend the knees, look forward. You keep bringing your knees down, and then we'll step to the top. You bring one leg forward first, then you'll bring both your feet towards the top. So you're helping it up. And as you bring that one forward, you can even like use your hand to help that leg to come forward, and then step up. The other thing you can think about is when you step your leg up, it's often easier to step it a little bit wider. So if you want to try stepping it wide, you can always just bring it in once you get there. And same with if you were on your knee, you might need to step it up wide, bring it in, and then step both up. So one other option is just to take little steps. So I might say inhale, lift the heels, exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the top is usually what I'll say. You might just take little steps. And so you're kind of coming up on your fingertips and eventually just kind of walking to the top. And don't worry if you're only going part of the way, like you can only take a few steps and then you're like, you could walk your hands back to your feet, and then you could just walk your feet the rest of the way towards the top of the mat.
so little steps or a big step, maybe using the knee or just lunging.
And then the hop is going to be the same with that start bit. So we inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. I like to think like I'm jumping over a little rainbow. Whoop. Hop the feet towards the top. Want to be really light and keep practicing it. I'm no expert. Some people can do this beautiful, like high floating motion. So that's great. And if you keep working on it, maybe you will too. I just find it fun to do a little hop sometimes. So whatever it feels like for you. But think less about going forward and more about going up and over until you land. And basically we finish with another halfway lift into a fold. And when you're ready to come up, we sweep the hands wide, soften your knees again, like a flat back. So broaden the chest, keep pushing up, push through the feet, squeeze the bum and reach above yourself. And draw your palms to your heart. Lovely, so we have done all of the little bits of the sequence. We're going to bring all that together. We might do 3 rounds, so then you've got the 3 options. First round, knees in the plank, little cobra. Second round, option for toes plank, and then to cobra at the bottom. Third one, option to do the toe plank, hover in the middle and come forward to upward facing dog. It could be a lot, so don't feel pressured to take any of those options. You can be staying with the one that works for you. Okay, let's start. Roll the shoulders back. Tadasana, mountain pose. Just tune into your breath. Inhale, sweep the hands wide up into the sky. Exhale, sweep the hands wide to fold forward. Uttanasana. Nice, dangling there. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Remember, you're stacking your hips over your heels. Stay and just roll your shoulders back a little more. Remember to feel that length from crown of head to buttocks. Then bend your knees, step back to a plank. So remember, you might come back via the toes or you might go straight to your knees. But let's all lower to the knees, even if you've been on the toes. Get your plank form on the knees so we're really solid. Shoulders straight over the wrists, looking ahead on the floor. Don't let the belly collapse down too far. That little like lift up of the belly slightly, but still engaging the core and squeezing the bum a little. Lower to the floor, elbows hug the side of your body. Your chest is leading a little bit, pushing through the heel of your hands. At the bottom, untuck your toes, push the top of the feet down, squeeze your legs, squeeze your bum, push your hips and pubic bone down, lift your heart just a little, roll the shoulders back and down, and then flowing back, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, and remember you might go through knees or through a little plank up to down dog. Once we're here, getting that long sort of pyramid shape. Remember, your knees might be bent a little. Your hips are drawing up to the ceiling and pushing back. Push to the thumb knuckle and first finger knuckle of your hand. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top. Remember, one foot could step forward, or you could hop, or you could take little steps. Let's take our time on this first round. Have a play. Inhale to halfway lift, flat back again. Fingertips up the front of your legs. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep the hands wide. Open the heart space. Stand up to tall mountain. Connect the palms. Exhale to your heart. Let's pause. Just relax your hands down this time. Just roll your shoulders back. Get settled. So in our regular sort of salutational vinyasa flow, we will tend to go 1 breath per movement. So I'm going to try cueing you that now. We might slow down at some key parts just so I can recover the form of that next plank sequence. But we'll start to move through a little bit faster at the start and end here so you get a feel for that 1 breath per movement kind of rhythm. So once you're ready, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands come wide to the floor or dangling. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, step back to plank. Staying in your plank. This time, option to stay on the toes. If that's not available, make sure you get down to the knees. Rock forward a little if you could and lower with control. Elbows point back to the back of the room until you touch the floor. Untuck your toes. Cobra, lift your heart. Remember, push your pubic bone down, squeeze your elbows in, and then back to down dog. Tuck your toes and flow your way back. Hips up to the sky. Now always remember, you've got time generally to recalibrate in down dog, and if down dog's ever too much, just go on your hands and knees. It's a really good alternative. If you're there in down dog, we'll inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands wide to the sky, opening the chest on the way, squeeze the butt on the way up. Connect the palms, exhale to your heart. Let's take another pause this time. Just relax your hands, mountain pose, reset. We're gonna go just one more round, just seeing how we go. So if you're feeling energetic and you're feeling a little quite strong today, we can add that third option. But really feel free to just either rest here or take that final, take one of the earlier options we've already tried. Okay, inhale, sweep the hands wide to the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plank, bend your knees and step your way back to a plank. Good, just stay for a breath or so. Remember, knees or toes, just check in with your body. Where are you at? When you're ready to exhale, the option to hover halfway down. Remember, you could go all the way to the floor instead. If you're hovering, roll forward to upward facing dog. So we step over the top of the feet. We roll over the top of the feet. Chest comes through, push away the floor. And then back to down dog. If you're on the ground, remember just to come back via your knees, however you need. So remember, you could have been doing Cobra or Updog there. Once you're in down dog, inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Connect your palms, exhale to your heart. And relax, mountain pose. Amazing, you did it. Great. Now, one other clarification of terminology I thought I would provide. That whole sequence is called Surya Namaskar A, or one of your sun salutation variations. The Vinyasa Flow is literally the component in the middle. It's where we go from a plank, then we lower down. Remember, you're either on knees or toes. You came into either your Cobra or your up dog, and then you went back to downward facing dog. That's your little Vinyasa Flow. So in a Vinyasa Flow yoga class, we will often include moments throughout the class to come back and do just the little Vinyasa component. It's always optional in my classes. I love to just give you that choice. If you feel energetic that day, add that little rhythmic flow. But if you don't, that's a great time to rest as well. I hope this has been helpful, that you have gained some new insights or something else to practice for yourself. And let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you'd like to know about, that you have other questions on still, or let me know what was helpful, what you actually learned from this video. And if you didn't know, I have a whole massive library of videos on my website, yogawithverity.com.au. We also do live stream videos and regular special events. And all of my yoga is here to help support you in your pain, stress, and mental health. I'm super passionate about it. I love to talk to you. I love to hear from you. So if you have any questions on that, or you want to head over to the website, just have a look first, please do. And yeah, I hope to see you on the mat very soon.